Fine. Okay. Oh, hey, hello everybody. Welcome to the live stream. I totally zoned out there for a second and missed the countdown.
Oh.
So if you want
to,
I know, I was just over here. So if you want to check out the show Sliders, as per usual, you can always find it streaming on Peacock, and also it's available for purchase on
Amazon and Apple TV.
Amazon and Apple TV, which I would just buy it because I don't think it's too expensive. Like what, $25 or something like that for the whole season?
Pretty cheap, yeah.
Yeah, pretty cheap. All right.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a good deal. All right, let's get the show started. Let me click the intro.
What if you could revisit brand new worlds right here from your headphones, where anything is possible? Same shows, different perspectives. We've found the gateway.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Sliding Through Dimensions. We are a Sliders Rewatch podcast. Thank y'all for joining us. Happy Easter, everybody.
Oh yeah, happy Easter.
Yeah, I know, I forgot it was Easter. I thought it had passed already. So on today's episode, we are going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 11, The Young and the Relentless. So the original air date for this one was June 7th, 1996. And this episode, the Sliders arrive in a world where the younger in charge and waiting Quinn's double are married corporate executives. Quinn winds up posing as his dead double, finds questions regarding his death. Meanwhile, Arturo and Rembrandt find themselves in trouble with the law and face jail time.
Again.
I know, right?
This is like the third time.
It's common, like
Yeah.
there's always like some sort of jail.
Yeah.
It's always like somebody in there is either arrested or about to get arrested or detained.
It's just a
somehow.
guaranteed side plot they can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Well, they had to give him something to do because this one seemed like it was more,
It was very
waiting
Q and
Quinn
Wade.
centric.
Yeah, happy.
yeah. But overall, what you guys think of the episode?
I enjoyed it. I think it's probably going to be one of my like top episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't like it?
It was okay. So,
I liked it. I thought there were like certain aspects to it that were kind of funny.
It's kind of very there's a very loud soundtrack for this one. I thought
There
there's
is,
a lot of different
yeah.
weird music choices kind of going on.
There was one part where I was like, how long has this song been playing for? Did it just start playing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got a listener, or well, that's one of the live streams say, hey Sliders, hey CERN Greenman. I gotta always remember to keep an eye on the comments because sometimes I miss them. I try not to, but it happens every so often. I liked it. Yeah, it was interesting. I like that
I think for the this is the thing. Like this is a kind of this is the type of episode I like.
Why?
Because it's like
Random as hell.
yeah, kind of random. It plays upon the whole other dimension kind of, and I guess they're not necessarily trying to like. What was the one episode that I wasn't really into?
Oh, I don't know.
Shoot.
I like this one because they gave Wade a lot more to do on this episode. Like she was able
It did,
to like,
and in a different type of tone.
Yeah.
too.
Play a different like type
this
of
is
character
yeah.
again.
And
Yeah.
this is the first time she actually interacts with her double.
Does she?
Yeah.
She
Oh,
never
yeah, 'cause she
interacted?
never
She
saw
never
her
in
other.
the communism episode.
No,
No,
I
in
don't
the
think- I think
pilot
so.
episode, she never like. I think she just because even Quinn like kind of covers her from seeing her like dead, you know.
Mm.
So she never actually interacted with her double on that world. So this is the first time you get a Wade double where she interacts and she actually gets to play a different Wade.
Have we gotten often Wade doubles? Besides
I think this is the
communism,
second
and
Wade
this is really
double,
the
no?
second Wade double we've
Like I can't
counted.
think of another Wade.
I don't think so. I think this might be the only other Wade that we
besides Dream Wade.
actually got to see.
Oh yeah, besides
Past
Dream
lives.
Wade, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. But those are just like
But it's
That's
not
just
really a
different
double. I think a
sequences.
double
Like
has to be like
No, yeah. It
they're
has to
both
be
like
in the
alive at the same time. Yeah.
yeah, where she
Yeah.
actually got to like interact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or not interact, but just like because she didn't interact with her first double, but that's still a double.
Yeah. Or where they actually like show a double of
in
her
the other world.
in,
Yeah.
in like in a different dimension. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was good.
So do we have a double for everybody? We've had a double for everybody now.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done everybody.
Professor's interacted with his.
Quinn
Quinn
with
has.
his.
Rembrandt has.
Everybody's interacted with
Yeah.
a double or two.
in the first interaction, it's his it's Clevant's brother who actually plays his double.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he interacts with
Where he
his
slays
like himself
Yeah.
in the previous episode in Greatfellas where he
Mhm.
actually interacts and he plays both.
He fist bumps himself.
Yeah.
What? Did I
Yeah.
completely miss that?
Yeah, what are you talking
Greatfellas?
about?
Yeah, so we
Greatfellas?
watched
Yeah,
it,
the
like, 2
the,
weeks
pre,
ago.
the
I'm
last
like, nah,
episode
this
we
is not
just went
familiar.
over. Yeah, that's where he actually plays another version.
I know
of
he
himself.
plays another
No, I'm
version
saying-
of himself. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
But I can't remember there being a time where they were both. At the end, huh?
yeah,
We're
yeah.
talking
At the
about
end where they were having like. a
You're
little
right.
chit
I
chat.
was thinking somewhere in the middle. You're right. Okay.
Yeah, so this episode starts off. It's Quinn face down in the pool.
It's a Sunset Boulevard type shot. It sets from below.
Yeah.
Very classic. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was, and then it cuts to the inside of the vortex, and then they come out of the vortex, and the professor finally gets a
He
soft
lands on
landing.
the chair.
Is
Lands
that
on
a
the chair.
soft landing?
Hey,
That was a
To be
hard
honest,
ass
She probably
one.
should have fucking broke that chair.
I know.
Chair.
That was such a. I wonder. I would love to talk to his stunt double because that must have hurt.
Like just
'Cause
coming
he,
out.
like,
It's like
really,
a
like,
flip, right?
Plopped
Flipped onto
onto
it.
that chair. Yeah.
Well, it's the softest landing he's gotten, I guess.
He did at least get a soft like thing to land on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Like fire,
I know.
like a cushion. Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, okay. More comments from CERN. He said he thought Sabrina Lloyd did a great job of acting 2 different personalities. Yeah, she
Oh,
did.
yeah, they're both
There
very.
She
There
did.
was a
Good opposites of each
clear
other.
difference between both
Yeah.
of them, which is really
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah. She
Does
had
it top her in the
Oh.
syndrome episode though? I don't think
No, I
so.
don't think so.
I
Yeah.
don't
She
know.
does a great
Yeah,
like.
the syndrome she was really good.
upsetness. Yeah, that was actually really good of her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're like in this, they're like in somebody's backyard. They're like a big old house. I don't know. Would you consider that a mansion? I wouldn't consider that a mansion. I just consider that like a nice like big house.
in the state.
Is it just? I don't know. You can't call it a state. I don't know what
It's pretty fucking
the
big, man.
what the
It was
acres
big.
wise
Villa?
needs to be considered.
I would say it was a mansion. It would be more of a mansion than a villa. I would
I
say a
guess.
mansion.
Mhm.
It definitely had a huge backyard, and it obviously was a house that had.
I wonder if there has to be like a
Several
certain
rooms.
amount of rooms to be considered a mansion.
Oh, I know, huh?
I don't know.
It has to be 2 floors at least, right?
Maybe, or maybe it's just like the
You
amount
know
of
what?
land.
I'm gonna Google this.
You're like, I want to find out what it
Hold on.
is.
I know, because that is an
Uh,
interesting question.
Quinn like immediately goes to. I guess he gets a view of the pool room and sees.
Yeah,
the
they're
body?
walking. They're
just
walking,
walking that
and then
direction.
they happen to see the pool room open.
Yeah.
You see somebody face down in the water, so they rush over there.
He immediately jumps. Yeah, Quinn
Yeah,
immediately
he just
and
jumps
grabs
in.
him out,
Wait,
which I
Quinn
thought was a
isn't-
bad idea.
That's true. Because what about
Like,
if there
leave
was some
prints?
electricity or something?
Oh
in
no,
there?
I would just stop prints. So leaving prints on him. And then
Oh,
being
that's
identified
true.
after. It's just like.
Also, you don't know technically what that water is made out of. Like, you don't know if you could survive in that water. That might not. That might be
It's a
another world
pool.
water. I know, but it's a different world. There might have been
I
a
guess.
different.
Yeah,
thing.
right.
I don't think
I
he
guess
was
what we
thinking
could
that
take
in that moment.
more of an acidic water in that
Yeah.
world,
I
and
think-
now Quinn's just bones.
I think his just like initial reaction was like, okay, I gotta
I
jump
mean,
in
but
and save this
we've
person.
seen that Quinn is a man of action. He really
Yeah.
is.
Mhm.
He, with that lady,
Yeah,
he immediately goes in. With every lady, he immediately goes in and tries.
he's a man
to-
of action and getting action.
I know. Yeah.
Mhm.
So he jumps in. They pull the body to the side. They don't know. You can't see who it is. It's just face down. So they pull him out of the water and they flip him over, and you see that it's Quinn. It's his double on
everyone's
that
like-
world. And
Okay,
then
so apparently a mansion is defined by its size and luxury. It says to be considered a mansion, it has to have at least 5,000 square feet and 5 or more bedrooms, which I
Okay.
feel like it qualifies.
probably, yeah. I feel like that house probably qualifies for that.
Yeah.
So they pull out Quinn and they like the professor flips him over and it looks like he's gonna start CPR, and then Rembrandt
Oh, I know.
Rembrandt
okay, yeah,
runs.
yeah, yeah. That's true.
And they focus on him, and he's banging on the door,
trying
and
to
he's
get
like,
help,
"Oh,
yeah.
we need help out here." And then he does come back with somebody. You don't see who it is yet. And then
There's
the
that weird line
professor-
professor says where he's like, he won't feel pain. He's dead already. I'm like,
you know,
like, what do you mean that's not gonna
yeah.
hurt?
So I
Like,
guess they realize that he's been dead for a bit.
yeah.
I guess they said if they had showed up like 30 minutes before that they might have had a chance of saving him, but they don't even know if that's like how long ago he
was
in there.
He
for.
wasn't. You know what? He wasn't even wrinkly in his fingertips.
That's
so
true. He
couldn't
wasn't
have been in
for
there
too
that
long.
long.
So so this other person that Rembrandt goes up to him and it's like, oh my god, what happened? And then it turns out it's Wade's double
It's
with
Wade's
the
double with longer
longer hair. What do you think of the wig
Okay.
that they got for her? Decent?
It was decent, yeah.
Like it blended in decent with her
Yeah.
hair. Or do you think it was her hair and then she?
No,
it
it's
had
a
to be a
wig.
wig. Okay, they had a good
Because
wig
it's even mentioned
budget.
later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she had a good wig budget for this episode.
Mhm.
So then
You know what though? For Dream
She had a
wig
good wig, too.
was a good wig.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one was longer. I wonder if they
Yeah.
just took that one and like cut it down a little bit.
No.
I don't know.
They definitely have other
yeah.
wigs.
But a different one?
Yeah.
Dog, look, we're trying to save money on
Yeah, it's a
wigs.
waste
We're
of
just gonna
ruining
chop
that
this one
wig.
down.
No.
So I guess on this world it's Wade and Quinn are together. They're married.
They're a power couple.
Yeah.
They run the top of a company that.
We
Yes.
later find out that they're like head of
This company
This-
called Advanced
What's it called? Is that
Software,
Technologies?
is that-
Software
so-
technologies.
Software technologies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's on the
They
Oh.
do they do a great so you see the person, dead Quinn is there,
yeah.
and then you see the person run up, you just see her back, right? And then they do a nice reveal of when she turns and you see it's double Wade.
And
And then
Wade
it kind of
looks at
pans out
Wade.
to the regular Wade and she's kind of looking at her kind of shocked.
Yeah.
And then they go straight to opening.
Because I think
thought-
Quinn did the same thing too when he realized it was him that what they pulled out. He was like, "What?
he's like, I'm dead.
I'm dead, but I'm right here." Yeah.
It
So.
must be weird to see yourself dead.
Oh yeah.
It
I
must be
imagine
weird
so.
to see yourself at all.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Wade's on the phone with somebody. I guess it's her. We come to
Her
find that
assistant.
that's her. I guess not
Who
assistant
is
slash
it?
house. It's Gillette, the
Housekeeper?
character
Yeah.
named Gillette,
Gillette.
who is
Oh,
the.
she
like
said
the-
Gillette.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, which odd name.
I
Gillette.
know. I was like the
Oh,
So,
razor.
what? The razor brand? Well, you guys trying to do some marketing?
Maybe it was a last
Some
name.
product?
Because
Like John
Ray,
Gillette?
Ray Gillette. That's his name in Archer. That's his last name.
Oh,
Ray
Oh,
Gillette.
is
really?
it? Oh,
Gillette.
that's right.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe it is a last
Okay.
name then. Okay.
Yeah.
But then of course they're kind of looking around at things while she's on the phone.
Yeah, you see pictures of her and Quinn together, at just different pictures of them together,
Yeah.
and then
I'm one I assume is a Hawaii shot because she's got a flower in her hair.
maybe
And
like
she's
their
kind of
honeymoon or
I don't-
something.
Yeah.
So then it's that Wade is kind of goes up to our Wade, and they're having a conversation.
They have different. Do they have different out? Does Quinn have a different outfit on already?
No, not yet.
regular-
No, he's still in his wet
still in his
clothes,
wet clothes.
and he's just wrapped in
In a towel.
or a blanket. I don't know what he's wrapped in. But then isn't? Oh well.
So
Anyway, okay,
yeah. So I
we'll
guess
get to
at this
that.
point they had already explained to the
Oh,
Wade
yeah.
of this world that where they're from.
Yeah,
In the whole
the-
situation and
a
why
double
there's two
Wade.
of them and two Quinns, and so she sees that Quinn comes in and he's covered up in a little blanket,
Aw.
all cold, and then
he's also shoeless.
Like a
yeah,
little-
and
I don't
guess-
know why, but that was
Yeah, he had
something
no
that I
shoes
saw.
on.
I was like, "Oh, he's shoeless."
she's all
in
take
it."
off your shoes before you come in here.
Maybe.
Their wet shoes.
And then I guess Wade was wet too, but I don't know where she got
That's
wet
what I
from.
was gonna ask.
I'm assuming from when
'Cause
she
she-
grabbed the box.
Because the double Wade, no, she never.
She
even
never
touched
went
the
near him.
body.
It was the
Oh.
professor
Because then when
and,
the double
Quinn.
Wade, gets off the phone, she's like, and she sees Quinn, and she's kind of staring at him, right? And it is, I'm like, that must be weird to have to go through try to mourn the loss of your husband, but your husband's standing right there.
Yeah, it's just kind of
It was that I do think that must. I don't know, because obviously she doesn't seem distraught. She doesn't really seem sad.
yeah.
She just seems kind of I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe confused. But then I'm like, maybe that's why, because it's oh, I'm supposed to be mourning him, but
He's right
he's
here.
right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, oh, let me get you clothes, and she gets them both clothes, and I'm like, why does original Wade get new clothes
Yeah.
if Quinn's the only one that jumped into that pool, and the professor is the only other person who touched dead Quinn?
Yeah. And he wasn't wet.
Yeah,
I don't know. That was weird.
I
But
thought that was really weird.
Yeah,
Maybe maybe they just wanted her to have
Yeah,
a
like,
different
let's have an
outfit.
outfit change.
She's
So-
like, I don't like seeing myself in this outfit. We're gonna change it. But have we gone through the part where they see that picture? The professor makes that comment of like there's the president candidate.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's only
It's when they're in the
17 or
office.
something,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like a cover of a magazine. He's all like, "What this guy's not even wet behind the ears, and he's
He-
running for president."
He's like, he looks like he's 17.
Yeah.
So I saw that they put his name pretty big, and I thought to myself, who is this person? Yeah, Don Buchan, something like that.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, he is a prop master
that.
on the show.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
one of the prop masters.
Yeah, he was one of the prop masters.
I feel like that's a common thing that they'll do sometimes.
That's why I was like, he
Yeah,
had to have
like
been
small
something.
things.
Yeah.
So he's credited for 20 episodes from 95 to 96. He also was a prop master in Highlander around the same time. Other things that you'll know him. HE Double Hockey Sticks. Did you watch that Disney movie?
No.
No, it had Will Friedle on it. And
Oh,
I
really?
was
That's
like,
probably why you saw
I had
it.
like a huge crush on Will Friedle when I was younger, so I like watched that movie.
Yeah.
Poltergeist Legacy? I don't know which one that is.
I don't.
Is that the second
know.
one? I don't know.
No, the Poltergeist 2 is just called Poltergeist 2.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and
I
then
don't know.
Poltergeist 3. So maybe it's one of the newer one that they did.
I forget. I didn't look at
know.
the year.
I don't
And
know. I have
then
to look that
another
up.
show I liked, Andromeda. The one with Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah, you like that one.
And then also Trick or Treat
Really?
and Journey
Michael
to the
Duffy?
Center. Yeah,
Movie?
and
Okay,
Journey to
so
the
there you go
Center.
there.
Yeah.
The one with Brendan Fraser?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Interesting,
So, all right,
huh?
so he's busy, still busy. So they
I was
changed
trying to
clothes.
figure out how young he was when they
Uh-huh.
filmed that because he's like that
he didn't.
kid
He
looks
probably wasn't
17.
17.
Oh,
Well,
he
like
wasn't, but
early
it was one of
20s,
his like first
maybe.
kind of things.
Yeah.
It was like early in his career. I was trying to find a date of birth and I couldn't find it anywhere.
Hmm. So they changed clothes, and then Quinn's all like, "Oh, these clothes are so weird. It's so retro." Or does Wade say that?
Do they look retro?
They do look retro.
I feel like
Yeah.
Quinn's definitely
The
does.
designs look weird.
But Wade's looks.
Wade's
not-
also looks retro.
You know what?
Yeah,
You know
it
what
does.
Quinn's shirt reminds me of?
Oh, I think I know what you're
Leonardo
gonna say.
DiCaprio in Catch Me If You Can. He's got a shirt on similar
Yeah.
to that.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
When
That
he
is-
owns
when,
a house,
when they had
right?
a
Yeah.
house, and he's all like,
the
"Hey,
records
watch it.
of the
This
vinyl."
cashmere."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
that
are
one.
those like old school like mob like Italian.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
those
yeah.
are the type of shirts they wear. Like,
Yeah.
That's true. But hers didn't seem that retro. I don't know. I mean, maybe to Xander, it is retro.
It does. It
But,
looks
like,
retro.
It seemed like something maybe somebody would have worn in the 90s.
But
I
Wade's
don't know.
clothes didn't look retro at all. They
That's
just looked
what
like
I'm
regular
saying.
clothes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So they
But then-
so then Gillette comes in. She's like, "Oh, Gillette will take care of your clothes. He'll get them laundered for you and everything." And then you see Gillette. He snags the timer.
He steals this.
He
And
just
why does nobody have the timer in their pocket right now?
Wait,
Well, I
is-
think
also,
Quinn
is
had
the-
it in his jacket
is the
pocket
timer
before he took it
waterproof?
off.
I know. Is it
Oh,
No,
waterproof?
no, he
He
took
took
off
it
his
off.
jacket
Okay.
before he jumped into the
Oh,
water.
did he?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Because he had a
okay.
jacket on.
So why isn't it in his jacket?
I don't know. It just ended
I
up
just
on the
these
table.
guys are too willy nilly with this timer. It's the only timer they have.
Yeah.
Gotta lock
the-
that shit down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's either getting lost or someone's taking it. Like they need to be better. And then we find out the name of the Quinn on this world.
They call him
QR.
QR.
And I wonder if
I
that
like,
was
what's his
for
la- what is
JR. You know, it was
Shot.
Dynasty.
Shot JR.
We shot
Shot
I wonder
JR?
if that's why it was
It's a
QR.
Dallas reference.
Maybe. I don't know.
He was
That'd be a
shot
question
though.
for the
yeah,
writer
I mean,
of this
its name,
episode.
it's like the name obviously comes from Young and Restless.
Yeah.
Which was
Soap
a
opera.
soap opera.
Oh, that was a soap.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a big soap opera.
I mean,
Young
that's-
and the Restless.
okay,
How
that
long did
kind
that?
of
That
explains
went
the
on for
music
years.
then.
Yes,
Okay.
and it does
Yeah.
kind of run very soap opera-ish.
Yeah.
So I wondered if they named him QR as like a nod to JR.
Dallas is a-
Yeah.
Yeah. probably.
Maybe.
If I had more soap opera knowledge, maybe I could see other kind of
Yeah.
little things. But even certain songs that they would play would
Uh-huh.
be very
like soap opera-y.
opera-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess there's people coming over or something like that. There's like a party that's also supposed to happen. 'cause-
Maybe that's why she can't be sad because she's like, I have a party to host. I'm locked in.
Yeah. And So
I couldn't get what the party was for. It was
I think it's just a company party, right?
it is a company
seems
party,
more
but
like
they're
a-
trying to
like
get
the
people
business stuff.
on
Yeah,
board.
like on board
legislators, right?
for
They're trying to get
for
legislators down.
this program that they were going to release called Educate.
Educano is some shit.
I think it's
like
just
a
called
weird
Educate or
spelling
something like
of
EduLearn or EduLearn.
Educational. Oh, EduLearn.
EduLearn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I guess they were trying to get backing for this to release this software that's supposed to kind of like replace teachers. They're going to shut down all schools and then just use software to like educate kids and stuff like that. So Quinn decides to help out.
Yeah.
You know,
oh
to
yeah,
kind of
because
like
she was like, if he's gone, people are just gonna
they're gonna back
completely.
out. Yeah. So
Yeah.
or does she ask if he can help or?
I think she asked him.
I think she like semi implies that she's
Yeah,
asking him.
Yeah,
Because she was like, "Oh, if they know he's gone, they're gonna
back out."
And she makes it seem like that was QR's like biggest dream.
Yeah,
before he
be
died.
doing him like a big favor if you helped me out with this. So of course Quinn, being a nice guy, agrees to do it, and she
Quinn is so excited to go to this party too.
Yeah. Oh,
he puts
man,
that jacket on.
That outfit
It's
is
the
dope.
worst.
I like that jacket, man. I like that jacket.
Jacket's not good, bro.
When I posted that picture for the podcast on Instagram and stuff like that, people were all like, "Yo, that jacket looks like a QR code."
I think, but yeah, he's like, it's fine, guys. The party will be so short. I think he's just tired of the sliding life, and he's like, let me just kind of live it up for a little bit. But he's like too gung ho for this party, for it to be just a favor to this lady, you know?
Yeah, but like, and then you could tell like that Wade, it's like kind of got a little crush on him.
Well, I'm assuming it's
it's her husband.
Well,
yeah,
he talks, he sounds like her husband. Like, of course she's gonna like him.
Guess without the cheating,
and without the cheating, and without
we find out later.
And later on, we find out that obviously there was probably a little rift there because of
there was a rift.
So like obviously she's like, this is a fresh new Q.
New version. This is like the version of Quinn that I fell in love with.
Yeah. This is a fresh new Q that I can mold to my liking.
Yeah. So he's like, all right. He's like, it's cool, you guys. I'm just gonna do this party and help her out, and then then we'll head to the hotel after. And then the professor and Rembrandt were like, well, we'll be there for more support. And then Wade's all like, oh, you guys are
She's
over
like,
30.
You guys are too old.
Yeah.
So I guess in this world, if you're, it seems
if
once
you're
30, once you hit 30, you're forced.
You're a senior.
You're forced to retire.
Once you're
Sorry,
Hey,
I'm fine with that.
I'll take some retirement. I don't care.
Well, no,
I'm
you don't,
fine
because
with
you don't get shit in retirement.
true.
You learn.
Yeah, so it seems like it's like a giant like rat race to like
Cutthroat,
get
bro.
money,
Yeah, as fast as you
become
can.
successful
At a young
before
age.
30.
Yeah.
because
Then after that, you become a second-class citizen. And I think the only jobs you can get after that seems like either like housekeeping or like just like what Gillette is, just basically like
The system works.
holy moly, I didn't even
Yeah,
notice that.
yeah.
I literally was like, I don't see any other old people in this.
you become
Everybody
the help.
is just kind of
Yeah.
like,
That's the
young.
only job you can get now.
but yeah, you're considered a senior, and this obviously hits a nerve for
With
the
professor, of course.
He's like very upset.
Right, yeah.
So they're all like, she's all like, no offense. She's like, well, how can we not take offense when you're basically saying we're second-class citizens?
Yeah. But you know what? It does remind me of this video that I was watching that was talking about how I think the generation before us are kind of they made it kind of harder for older people because they didn't really like set certain things up for them. So they were kind of like I wish I rewatched it so I could speak on it better. So it did kind of make me think about that, how there was just kind of this disdain towards the elderly population.
Yeah.
Although in this case, just elderly is a bit sooner than what we think of it now.
Yeah. So Quinn says,
which is funny because right now they keep pushing the retirement age. I think they were talking about making the retirement age like 72 at one point.
Oh, really?
I forget what happened.
Move it
there.
up like a whole 10 years.
Like they really want to well, no, I think it's like 67.
65. Oh, it's 65, I think. and then you can push it
I
to
don't know,
67.
because my mom.
No, because I was just on there checking.
Oh, you're trying to find out when you can retire.
That's why you retire.
Because remember we looked it up last time, and then I think one of the guys at work was talking about like what's retirement age, and I was
I
all
know,
like,
Caesar's like, can I?
It was a Christian.
He's like, oh, damn, he's even younger. He's all, when can I retire? I did look
I'm
at
like,
my.
when can I retire?
Yeah. I did look at my retirement. It was like, you have enough credits, Bob.
I think the earliest you can is 62, and then you only get like a certain amount. If you wait to
if you
65,
wait older,
you get the full, and then
Yeah.
if you push it to 67, you get a little bit
Even
more. It's
more.
only like $200 difference.
hey,
month.
$200.
So I think it's like 2,235 or something like that.
Depending on
depending
yeah.
on what you
But that, of course, is the estimation if you're retaring now. If you
Yeah.
actually, if you know, by the
Who
time
knows
you
what it'll be
retire,
by the
who
time we
knows?
get there.
Yeah.
So the Quinn's are like, oh, he's like, why don't you guys go check out the town, and then I'll meet you at the hotel, the Dominion or whatever. So they're like, all right. So they take off, and Wade and Quinn. Well, Wade,
Why
the
does
other
Wade
Wade.
other
stay?
Wade, huh?
Why does other Wade stay?
I don't know,
Just in
but she
case.
just stays.
She just
well,
stays-
maybe
she
maybe
stays
maybe it's harder
upstairs.
for
Well,
her
yeah,
to
she
get
can't
out
be
because
there.
she can't be seen since she's
That's true,
there'd be like
yeah.
a question of like,
Just put a
whoa,
bald
there's
cap
two
on.
of you. So she Quinn goes down with other Wade and she's like, oh, it's just like kind of stay near me, and I'll kind of like talk you like who's who and what to
She
say
basically
to.
just gives nods.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
just kind of like goes behind the person and is like, say yes.
Because everyone
Say
asks
yes.
him like yes or no,
No.
questions.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this one guy comes up to Quinn and is all like, "Hey, buddy, something about I forget. It's just something about like the program or whatever." So that's when Wade just says like, "Oh,
This is
just say
Kyle.
yeah, just say yeah." And then the other
Kyle,
guy,
right?
the other guy, Kyle comes. He's like, "Oh, I thought we were locked down for this, man. What's going on?" And then
They should have had
Kyle.
hand signals.
oh, you know, he's such a
They should have had like,
You know
they should have had like, if I touch your shoulder, it's a yes. If I touch your elbow, it's a no.
and if I grab your butt, it's an extra yes.
I
It's an
know.
enthusiastic yes.
Yeah, I hate Kyle.
Kyle,
You know what?
oh.
Kyle has such a fucking annoying nerd look. Like he looks
This
like
is the
a
thing.
fucking nerd.
So
I'm sorry,
I know.
bro.
I kept the whole time I kept thinking to myself, like, I feel like Q could take Kyle.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
sure.
know what
He's
he's
like,
letting
this
him fuck
motherfucker
him
needs
around.
a one punch and it's over for him.
Like you went. I'm like, if
Same
you
thing
were
with
willing,
Gillette. You could have beat the crap out
I
of him
know.
Mhm.
I'm like,
that-
if you went after what was his name? What was that character's name?
Fucking.
I know.
I just
Jeffrey Dean Morgan's
Dean
character.
Morgan's
What was his
character.
name?
Yes,
Sid.
Sid. If you
Yes,
were willing to fight Sid, you
Well,
could
he got-
fight Kyle.
Didn't he get his ass handed to him the first
Yeah, he
time?
got
did
fucking
that?
multiple times he got launched.
Yeah.
But he fought that one guy in the last world.
True.
No, he definitely take on fucking
Yeah,
Kyle.
Yeah,
I'm like,
bro.
you could
His-
take Kyle. Just
Kyle
go
is
after
just a
him.
little
His fighting
bitch.
skills are getting better, and so are the professors and Rembrandts, as we'll
Yeah.
see later.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Rembrandt's always been locked with fighting.
Yeah,
That's true.
Rembrandt's been
Rembrandt's
good
always
with
been
fighting.
good. So then the it cuts from after the Kyle scene. It goes to Rembrandt and the professor. They're inside the hotel lobby, and the professor's reading the book, just kind of like saying like how
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Carter was was kicked out of presidency, and Howard Stern took over.
Yeah.
And-
No, he didn't take over.
Well,
Well, he
He
became
was
president.
pushed
He started
out because of Howard Stern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
So Howard Stern-
the revolution kind of happened because
Yeah.
of,
because of him. And then-
because Howard Stern was fucking old.
Oh, in the
Yeah.
90s, so
Well, during
that was like the height of his like
administration.
show.
I know, but he was already old.
Yeah, he was old too, so that's
Yeah,
weird.
So he wasn't president.
So I guess he was pushing for like younger,
younger
like politicians and stuff
younger-
like that. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
when they
yeah.
kind
And so
of
they ended up
came
putting
up with
the
this law with like
Which put a halt on fashion then?
I-
Why is
I
fashion?
don't
My question
know.
is why is fashion so old school? Is it because that there's no time to actually like change it?
I don't know. Maybe that's just not a focus of like
There's no like young fashion design.
I guess you figure there would be. but
I guess
there
guess
would
so.
there would be, but I think it's all the same. I mean, fashion itself is so cyclical, right? So it could be that was kind of what was in fashion 2 generations ago. Because
Uh-huh.
right now, if you look at the
Mhm.
generation now,
But it's only the 90s. They
yeah, they
revolted
go.
in the 80s.
They went to the 90s. I know, but that's what I mean. Like they're always kind of like a little bit behind. So
Mhm.
maybe it goes by faster because everybody's younger, so
Maybe.
the cycle is like quicker. But yeah, they changed the voting age down to
To
9.
nine.
It's like,
Solid, bro. I would
Which
go
who the
is-
hell's voting at
Hell
9?
yeah,
Ain't no
man.
9-year-olds
That's why the
voting.
polls at 9.
Well,
That's
nobody at 9 is voting because you have to be 18 to vote. But
Yeah.
like,
But that's what I'm saying, like
imagine
in
9-year-olds
that
think
scenario,
9-year-olds
like
probably have a more stronger urge to vote though.
yeah, by the time you get your 30s, you're just like you've gone through it. You've
Yeah.
gone through so
Yeah,
many
9-year-olds
defeats and so
ready
many
to vote.
heartbreaks.
they just probably
I would
just
love
get
to
him in
see
there.
the
But like,
voting.
if you vote, we'll give you some soda and candy.
Is that what 9-year-olds are into? I think you're
I don't
thinking
know, man.
6-year-olds.
Yo, I like soda and
9-year-olds
candy.
lock it in, bro.
You're all like, my vote could be fun.
Give me some beer and candy. I'll do that.
You know they used to do that.
What?
They used to like
Give you
that's how they-
beers?
yeah.
To 9-year-olds.
I'll take some beer.
Not to 9-year-olds, but I remember there was something I was watching on that too. But yeah, so you can vote by 9, but you have to retire by 30.
Yeah. So
Which, you know what, like part of it was because they realized that the Medicare system, because all of these people were
the Social
doomed.
Security
That's why
and the
they're
medical
trying-
system was gonna like destroy the
because all these
economy.
That's why they're
people
trying to get
So
were
that's why
like
they
a
did
lot
that.
of people weren't retiring.
Uh-huh.
So then they were kind of taking up all these jobs that the younger people couldn't get. So they forced this retirement so that it was easier for the younger people to go into the work community,
Yeah.
which is and then they realized like, oh, Social Security is going to be freaking gone by the time these people are old or like older and which is kind of how people are kind of thinking on it now.
Mhm.
You get me?
Yeah, I was
Like,
about to say,
that's-
I kind of agree with the statement
know,
that is
it-
brought up. I'm like, I think it's kind of fair.
It's kind of true. I'm like, that's kind of one of the issues that was going on. Like boomers were kind of like resistant in like leaving the workforce. So it was harder for the younger kids to enter the workforce because there were so much less jobs being taken. So that is like a problem that is actually going on. So I thought it was interesting to kind of have this episode touch on it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so then
I'm
so
like,
they
'cause
got
I
their
know a
little
few
info
people
right there.
Dang, stop
And
worrying. Hold on, I gotta go get the clothes.
of course you gotta go.
Let's keep going.
All right, then you're gonna miss out on the talk.
On the bar talk.
I'll go through the comments real quick. We'll go through the comments. So Saren Greenman was commenting again. So at first it was hard to accept that teens and 20-year-olds running the world, but then again, it is another
I
dimension.
gotta admit, I'm shocked that the world's actually pretty good. It's like I don't know. I guess it isn't really that stable. The world. I guess like 'cause you see downtown more later. It's pretty fucked up. I guess I don't know. It just kind of looks like downtown in the 70s to me, like New York downtown in the 70s. You know, and you see like old footage of it.
Yeah.
Like a taxi driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he said the checker jacket. He says like a winner's flag at a car race. I know, right? It pretty much was. You could use it for a car race. So they get their info, from that book, which is just so happens to be in the lobby.
Oh, it makes sense. I don't know. I guess it's like a thing. Is this when they go to the bar?
Yeah. So he puts the book down and he tells the guy at the front, who is not Calhoun, which
makes
I'm
sense.
guessing because he's probably old, right? He's too old
Yeah.
to be the clerk at this one.
Although it is kind of like isn't it? It's sort of like a chubby white dude, though.
Do you see? I don't remember if you see
Yeah.
like who's at the front desk.
Oh, the hotel. No,
Of the
I'm thinking
hotel.
of the lamplighter.
Oh yeah, so when they go into so that's what we find out. I guess the connected bar that's part of the hotel is called the Lamplighter.
I feel like it's been mentioned before in other
They've
episodes.
called it
must
that a couple times, but then
Yeah.
I think that's when I realized I was like, oh okay,
Yeah,
because
it's
they're
a
talking the Lamplighter, but
Yeah.
then at the bottom of where it says Lamplighter, it says like a Dominion Hotel,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that was fast. You were fast.
Oh
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. So we were just talking about they're about to head into the bar right now.
Yeah.
Oh, the
So,
lamplighter.
yeah, to the
Pub
Lamplighter.
this time.
Yeah, it's a pub. That's right.
Yeah. So the professor suggests some beers, and then that's when Rembrandt's like, I'll take a beer. So they go up to the counter, and he's like, my good sir, we'd like 2 beers, please. So like, can you read the sign? And then
What did the sign say? I couldn't.
it says
over-
overdressed, overdosed, overage, no service.
What does overdressed mean?
Like you're way too fancy for this establishment.
I don't know.
Why would
I
you
don't know what that means.
I don't like this 3-piece suit you got
Maybe
on.
because I guess the assumption is that older people overdress. which I think is true when you compare to the other. Like you look at the judges.
Because we're overdressing.
Like you look at the judge's outfit.
You look, I'm in a ball gown. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Later, like he's wearing like a very cash, just like a blazer and then like a button.
That's true. Maybe.
That's what I thought.
I
took it as that.
So the professor's
like he's not having
really
it, man.
angry.
He's all like, he's like, yes, I can read, but the question is, can you listen? I said, I want 2 beers.
So here's my question: is this episode the way it's supposed to be watched? Right, not the way that it was aired, but the way that it was supposed to have been watched.
Oh,
is this after? Is this after? Is this after the double?
We're in
He
order
is wearing
now.
the trench coat.
We're in order now. This is
okay, so this would be after that episode.
Oh, it's after
so this kind of makes me feel like this isn't our professor then.
It could not.
Yeah.
I don't think this.
We don't know.
He wouldn't let it go, and I feel like our professor is more willing to stay on the down low. So I feel like our professor would have been like, he would have taken like Rembrandt's stand, where he's like, okay, let's just go find another place.
Yeah.
Like he kept like, even after the guy said no, he was like, again, he was like, what, can't you hear me? And then he was like, once he kept going, he was like, all right. I'm so whatever I did to offend you, I'm sorry, but just give me the beers. Like he wouldn't let it go.
Yeah.
And I feel like our professor at this time would have.
And then that's when the bartender decides, what does he say? He says, listen here, he calls him something.
Well, they're about to leave. Rembrandt's like,
no, they weren't gonna. Well, Rembrandt wants to go.
Yeah.
He's trying to like, he's like, let's just go.
Yeah.
And that's when the bartender comes out from behind the bar, and he's got like this wooden baton, and then
that you see bend a couple times in this fight.
I didn't even notice. But like that's when like he's obviously gonna threaten the professor, to get them out of there. And the professor's like, he's not having it. He fucking straight up like.
I thought he was about to hit him.
He takes a swing at the professor, and the professor grabs his arm. It looks like he breaks it the way he bent it. Like he was trying to break it, and then he takes the baton and then smacks him with it, and then smacks him in the leg. And then Rembrandt punches this other guy who was gonna jump at the professor.
Into it, yeah.
And then they take him hostage, like kind of like in a choke
with
hold.
it, yeah.
And then they throw him back towards, and they take off. And then the guy's like, somebody call the police. So they got their asses handed to them.
And they did. No, they were both put on a good, like, united front in this fight.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. I was like, oh, damn. And then we cut back to the party. And then
hold on, though. Did you see the paint on the walls?
On what wall?
On the walls of this pub.
No.
It was like red.
It was like this weird paint job that I really liked.
Oh, just like when you see the guy get like beat up and thrown against
the
couch.
you just see that the
oh no, I didn't notice it.
Was pretty interesting. Maybe we'll see it again because we come back to this.
Yeah. So we're back at the party, and then some chick comes up to Quinn and saw like, hey, what happened? I thought you were gonna call me or something like that. And he's like, oh, you haven't told her about us. And that chick in that scene, I know her from one other movie. She is in The Faculty.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh.
She's like the main like alien chick.
People in this that like have little.
Yeah. I'm sure she's done other stuff, but that's where when I saw her, I was like, oh, hey, it's the alien chick from The Faculty. Yeah. So then,
I'm like, he was just trying to get a cocktail shrimp.
So then, he's just trying to eat.
I know.
And then she's all like, oh, call me when you get your shit together or something like that. And then she takes off, and then he's kind of like gonna go after her, and then Wade kind of grabs him, and then she's all like, "Who's that?" And she's all like, "Nobody."
So I'm assuming she knew.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But this is when
you that was part of what happened.
Oh, the other one.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So he's gonna say like Quinn had on this world was obviously having an affair with that chick.
He was having an affair. And then there are other things that kind of get said to him where he's like kind of sussing out that like something isn't quite right at this party.
Yeah. He kind of like gets the feeling like he's just trying to figure out what the whole thing is with this whole EduLearn program.
Yeah, because from what some people are telling him, it seems like he wasn't really gung-ho on the idea, even though Doubleways told him
that he was all in
on it. That he was. That yeah.
Yeah, because there's this other guy that comes up to talk to Quinn, And then Wade kind of gives him like a quick little like, don't, careful with this guy.
Yeah.
Careful what you say to him. I forget what his name was, but I guess he was like another like close co-worker of Quinn's as well. Of the QR.
Yeah, I think was this the guy who you later find out? Oh no, this is the first guy that came up with him in the company. No.
Yeah.
This
him.
guy? Okay.
Yeah, I forget his name. So they kind of have like a brief conversation about the EduLearn. He's telling him to take his name off of it.
Yeah.
Like urging him to take his name off of it. And then I think Wade kind of comes and grabs him.
Yeah.
To get him out of there.
Away.
Yeah. And then I think it's the end of the party. No, not yet.
No, then he goes up to the bathroom and then he sees that
Wade is
regular Wade is like
our Wade is like going through like the
medicine
cabinet, but I guess not
as
the
you
cabinet.
as you do at
It's a
somebody's
medicine
house,
drawer. Yeah. So I guess
it wasn't even. Yeah, it was just a drawer full of
like
pills.
meds. And then he's all like, she gets all started. She's like, oh. He's like, are you snooping through their medicine cabinet? She's like, well, yeah. I just want to see
what else can she do up in the second story?
Her excuse was she just kind of wanted to get an idea of like, who they were.
Are. Yeah.
Which I get it. Which I guess there's just like just a bunch of stimulants in there.
Yeah.
But Quinn was kind of like, well, it makes sense if you're like pushed to try to like succeed at 30.
You got to be like
you have to be on it. Yeah.
Yeah, so then it cuts to them, like Quinn goes back downstairs, and it's pretty much the end of the party. Everybody's leaving. Quinn and Wade are saying their goodbyes, blah, blah, blah. And Wade's all like, oh, you did really good. And then she starts kissing him.
No, what happened? No, you find out that she told Kyle.
Yes.
Kyle's like, oh, we really got through it. Yeah.
Yeah, but doesn't...
And then that's when he realized, and then that's when he realized, no, it happens after.
Oh, after?
Yeah, it happens after.
Oh.
Yeah, because my note about the kiss is after.
Oh, okay.
She told the guy. Because I couldn't remember his name, and then later on I learned his name.
And then Kyle's like, oh, I think we got away with it. So the other Wade told him about the whole situation about their Q being dead, and this was a duplicate.
And then they kiss, but like I will say, Q leans into this kiss.
Oh yeah,
too.
well, because for him it's still still Wade.
It's not his Wade.
I think he's
still. It's not his Wade though.
He's like, look, I'm gonna do this.
It's a dangerous way. It's not
like,
Wade. You do.
He this is kind of when I start to notice that the double Wade's voice is a bit more breathy than our Wade's voice.
Yeah.
Like there's just a little bit of softness to us, and I think that's what like.
That corporate voice.
Yeah. So. She like is kind of like talking to him in that breathy voice, and he's like leaning in to kiss her, and of course they like kiss.
Yeah, and then
we find out
Wade comes out. She's all like, like she says something, I think.
But then after that, that's when. Oh, did she see that kiss?
Yeah, she saw it.
Oh, I don't remember her seeing that kiss. But I do remember after that. That's when Kyle reveals like. Oh, I have the timer.
And you're gonna like help us out because they want to have them do like a meeting with the governor or something like that.
Yeah, to like push for this
to make sure it goes through.
But so Gillette works for Kyle then?
I don't know.
Who does Gillette?
They all work for Wade, and they're
that's not true.
No.
If anything, Wade works for Kyle. That's what we kind of find out. That's
I don't know. Do you think Wade? You think he's the mastermind?
I don't know, but it's just like Gillette. It technically is working as her housemaid, but then Gillette gives Kyle the remote, and Wade's acting like she doesn't know anything about it.
I think that's just an act, though.
Maybe, but then this is when I'm like, Q, you can take Kyle, just beat the shit out of him and get your time back.
Yeah, just fucking knock his glasses off and beat him down.
That's true. But, yeah. And then.
So they like basically use that against him to like help them out. He's like, oh, I'll give you the timer back if you do this for us.
Yeah, that's true. And then after that, it cuts to Rembrandt and the professor, and they're in court.
And they're in court now. Yeah, which it looks like
cool.
the inside that
what
building.
What an interesting court!
Oh,
like it literally,
it's so open.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a building we've seen before that they've used.
Probably
in Sid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the professor says, because Rembrandt comments how he's like, oh, I wish we could call Q right now. And then the professor does this line that I thought was really weird. He goes, "I don't need a former student to help me out in court."
Yeah.
Which I thought was a weird comment, because we've already established that like Quinn is smarter than the professor.
I don't think he likes to admit it though.
I mean, that
if he
he's
can
got
help it.
like a fool has an axe to grind about his smarts.
Yeah, so they're in court for, I guess they're being charged with trespassing and assault, I think too.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I would hope so. Assault,
Nah, just a trespassing. They said
it might
the assault
actually
was
just
fine.
be trespassing. Actually.
No, it was trespassing in something.
And
else.
any other actions that fall.
Yeah. It just,
okay.
Yeah.
I imagine going to court and them being like, "We're gonna get you for trespassing and whatever else you did there." You're all, what?
I was like, I didn't do nothing. Yeah, so like it's not even a courtroom too. It's like just like an open area. Like they did it in the top level of a mall.
Yeah.
What's it called? It looks very much like a quad, like just like a meeting place of people, which I guess is very like. I mean, I guess everyone's supposed to be younger, so it's supposed to be a bit more unorthodox, right?
Yeah, it's just like an open concept.
Yeah, very open concept.
Glass table.
So then they see the judge, and this is obviously like this young guy with like long hair, very like Spicoli, Fast Times at Richmond High.
Yes, yeah. Did he look familiar to you?
He kind of reminds me of that guy from Clueless.
Oh no, that's not him. But yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
Him, but it looks like him. It reminds me of like that's what they were going for. He's also part of Robot Chicken too.
He is very like so his name is Gordon Michael Wolvet. I know him from Andromeda, which I thought was kind of interesting. And like Andromeda as well.
So you got that guy and the props guy from Andromeda.
Yeah, I know. He's in a ton of other stuff though. He's been in an episode of Twilight Zone. He played an alien in Alien versus Predator.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
Oh.
But he's got a ton of stuff on. Oh, My Date with the President's Daughter. He plays Clyde.
Huh.
I know. But when I was looking at him, I was like, that fool looks so familiar to me. Mysterious Island. I don't know if you ever saw that.
No, I don't think so.
But in my head, I'm like, maybe it's just from Andromeda. I mean, he's got so many credits, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that's the one that like sticks out in my head.
Yeah. So this young kid comes out. He's got his drumsticks with him.
He's
over there flipping him around.
Why would he have drumsticks?
I don't know, man. He's just like because he does have a gavel. So he just comes out with them, just to kind of get it across, like, oh, this guy's young.
Very young.
He's young.
Like he's got drumsticks with him. He's a child. I feel like just because he's young doesn't mean he wouldn't be able to be professional, though.
That's true.
I just thought that was funny. I mean, obviously, it was done to like really push that he's a young guy.
Yeah,
but what an interesting little thing to do.
Well, I guess also the push, of what people go into the court world in that world.
Oh
yeah, find out it's all like failures.
I don't know if that's just the lawyer, but it wasn't even failure.
No, it's
just
court in general because everyone who does good is in the corporate world. That's what she says.
She didn't have the grades to get a corporate job.
Yeah.
She says later on. But yeah, so then they get appointed their court appointed public defender, who's this young lady. And then obviously
of course,
you can tell
the professor is just mad. He's mad that the judge is young. He's
mad that the public defender is young.
He knows what this world is, though. Why is he so mad?
Yeah. So then you can tell that the judge has like a little crush on the public defender chick.
She is she's very good looking too, though, so it makes sense that he would be he'd be crushing on her.
So so she tells them, you guys are gonna plead guilty and you guys will do 30 days. 30 days.
Because I think it was 30 days or it was a year.
Yeah.
The year was really like the higher.
Yeah, but they were telling her, well, like that, we can't do 30 days. We're leaving in a day. So is there a way you can like get us just like the way the professor saw it, he's like, oh, we'll just like plead guilty and like pay a fine or whatever. He thought it was going to be simple to get off, like a simple thing.
Why? Why would he?
I don't know.
You have no idea how this court system works. You were in a world where graffiti almost
Even
got you killed.
In the regular world, that wouldn't be like a fine. That would be some sort of.
Actually, I don't know what
Depends.
it is.
It's like community service.
Community service. Like if it's your first offense or something like that, you'll get like just some community service time and still have to pay a fine for sure.
But I think in this world, you do have to remember that they are viewed as seniors.
Yeah.
So the punishment, I can imagine,
it's a lot stricter
harsher
than if it was on a young person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. Well, you probably think they would try to like bypass the jail sentence just because they need to like, keep working or something like that. I don't know. But so they end up getting 30 days and then they're getting escorted.
Okay, but this is the thing. I think she was almost going to get them off. Because he was like, you know what? He's like, fine, I'll take it easy on you because I like your lawyer. And then freaking professor has to start yapping about how he feels this isn't right. And then he goes, you know what there, buddy? And then he insults the lawyer. He insults her.
Yeah.
He's like, I have more brains than my pinky. Than you. Yeah, and then that's when he's like, you know what? He's like, I'm not gonna let you insult her like that. Guess what? 30 days.
Yeah.
So I think they were gonna get off because of her, but professor had to like start yapping again.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I think he ended up getting them for 30 days.
One of our viewers is gonna get off soon. He said it's getting late over here in Eastern time zone before I go. So thanks for the great show. You three are great.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Well, if you want to watch the rest later, it'll be up on our YouTube channel, and then also the podcast will be available tomorrow morning, so you can still catch the rest of it. So they get the 30 days. So then they're getting escorted by, I guess it's a bailiff or something like that, because he's just like in regular clothes.
Yeah,
that guy that's and then the.
It was what a weird jail system. Like they got to take an elevator.
Yeah, I guess that's just where the court's at. So they're on the second floor. And then they're getting escorted.
This is what happens when kids are in charge of the court system. I don't know.
And then that's when the professor and the Rembrandt like do like a little thing, like they get into an argument, and then the professor fakes a heart attack, and then the guy's all like, "What's wrong? What's going on?" I think I'm having a heart attack, and then the fucking Rembrandt beats the crap out of him, and so they throw him into the elevator, and they get away. They get their handcuffs off. I guess he stole the keys too, because Rembrandt was able to like unlock the.
I like how quickly this elevator door closed after he knocked it, because in normal time it would just be like
it would take a while. Yeah, but I mean they did hit him pretty good, so he was down in there. So then so they escape, and then it cuts back to Quinn, and they're like in the office.
Yeah.
Oh, it's for the.
It cuts back to the meeting for the
EduLearn.
Yeah, they're about to go into like
you find out what this EduLearn actually is.
It's just a way to push commercials.
Yeah.
Advertisements.
So like part of it is like, oh, there's 7 colas, and then you add 4 colas. How many colas do you get?
And if you like get 4 more questions right, you get a cola break.
Cola.
I don't know. It's like,
hey, you know what? The reward system works sometimes.
Yeah, and then Quinn's
but
all
I was
like,
saying like that was really lame.
Yeah, because the Quinn's all like, is this a joke? He's like, this isn't learning. It's not education. It's like
it's just all commercials.
It's a commercial. So you're just selling like ads to kids, and they're like, well, they
so that's actually like so.
I feel like that is just
yeah, well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so then
he's kind of like against it, and everybody's kind of like, why is he talking shit about this? And then Wade's kind of like, oh, he's kind of right. Like we're just not there yet. Like we just need to tweak this.
We just all need to be on the same page.
Yeah, and then she's like, meeting adjourned, and
she's all like,
leaves.
yeah, she's like, can we have the room? And then they'll leave, and then Quinn and Wade stay in there,
and then yet again, there she is with her breathy voice.
Oh yeah, she's
like, "Oh, we got this, baby. It's okay." And he's like, "All right." Yeah. And she does that thing where she like puts her hand on his cheek, and then of course he leans in again,
and they start making out.
And then the look he has
after he looks so lost.
He's just like he's so stunned. Entranced. He's so.
And he's got lipstick all over his face.
His face is covered in it.
this part was so funny. Just like the look he has is just like he was into it. He was so into it. The lipstick's all over his face.
And then,
which, by the way, I'm amazed nobody's come up with. I'm amazed Wade isn't wearing a transfer-proof lipstick.
Oh well, no, I guess not.
Dropped yet.
Yeah, I guess not.
They didn't have that. And then they get interrupted by I guess like their assistants or somebody else. There's somebody down in the lobby for them. It's I guess there's this whole
this
lawsuit.
Is when we find out about the lawsuit. What's her name?
Marlene?
Something like that.
Marlene?
Shoot, I don't know. I tried to write it down and I never did. I think I had started to at one point.
So,
I'll tell you right now, I have the IMDb up.
Okay.
It is something like that. Something with an M, right?
Let me see.
Christy, Kylie.
Oh, Maylene White.
Oh yes,
Maylene.
yeah.
Or Melanie White. Melanie
yeah.
White. Sorry.
So I guess that was like someone who was like working with Quinn. They were like,
who was, by the way, and apparently the cult of Chucky.
Husband.
She was also in Warcraft.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the wife of the guy, who I guess died.
Who's like really close buddies.
Yeah, was close with him.
Yeah.
Had died, and they were being sued, saying that.
He killed himself.
And
then an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? There we go. That was the.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah. So he had something happen. They fired him.
No. Yeah.
Something happened, and then he killed himself. So she's blaming it on them.
Yeah, the thing that he's the reason. That the company was the reason that he died.
Yeah.
So there was a whole lawsuit, and then
Wade
just tells the assistant, "Well, you tell him that he can contact Quinn's lawyer." Yeah.
You tell him we're in the middle of a smooch.
We're making out right now. I'm putting lipstick all over his face.
And then when you look at her lips is like super rubbed off.
Yeah, it's all rubbed off on the top. Yeah.
They really went in for this kiss. It was great. I love it.
Yeah. So then it cuts to Quinn. He's on the phone with Wade. I guess she's kind of like on house. No, he got
that shit
it
off real quick.
Yeah. She's like, she's gonna see it through the phone. She's gonna know I was making out with her.
He made himself presentable.
So yeah, I guess she's like that. Wade's kind of like Gillette is watching her. She's kind of like on house arrest.
Yeah, she's stuck.
So she's stuck there, and
she does that. She says that line. She's like, I turn around, like whenever I turn around, he's there, or wherever I'm at, he's there. And then they do that part where he's like, they get off the phone, and she does like go downstairs, and he was like they pan the camera, and he was like right there. I was like, she was right.
Yeah. So then it cuts back to the professor and Rembrandt, and they're just like walking around the streets, and then the cops roll up on them, and they're like, "Hey, old guys." Pretty much like it's I guess they have a curfew.
Yeah,
it's almost curfew for them.
Great.
He's like, we almost ran you over, and he was like, oh, well then isn't that your problem? Like he says again, he like says something back to him.
Well, no, he tells him because he tells him it's almost curfew. He's like, yes, you should run along and go and cuddle with your teddy bears.
Dude, he's just like he's so mad in this world. I feel like he was maybe madder in like we haven't seen him this mad in this world since Summer of Love.
Yeah, he's just like really annoyed by everything.
Grouchy and like
yeah. So then of course the Rembrandt was like cooling down the situation. He's like, all right, we're leaving. So they take off. And then we go back to Quinn again.
That's funny. Yeah.
This is where he meets Melanie.
Yeah, because he leaving the office.
She serves him.
And then it's a subpoena.
I wonder if you're allowed to serve a subpoena on your own. I thought somebody else had to serve it, but maybe that's only for certain matters.
I thought that was only if you yourself cannot subpoena this person because they are avoiding you.
Oh,
so then that's why you hire this person that doesn't know you, who doesn't know
to do it.
That's why they do that. I've always thought.
I thought it was because there were certain. I think there are certain situations where you're not allowed to actually, or maybe I'm thinking of another.
I don't know. Maybe only if they have like a restraining order on you.
It's because of avoidance from yourself, so that's why.
You subpoena somebody if you're suing them.
Yeah. So Melanie, she's there waiting for him. She said she wanted to see the look on his face when he got the subpoena. So she hands it to him, and then he's obviously doesn't know what's going on because he's just coming on it. He's like, "Oh, you're Melanie White." And then she's all like, "Oh, great! Oh, you recognize me?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, you and my husband were like best friends,
Buddies.
something like that, or like brothers.
Basically
Yeah, like brothers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So,
because his
and they were
mom
saying
had
that,
like
you know,
raised them.
they murdered him because he never took any kind of stimulants ever, and that's just
Oh yeah.
so happens
He
to
wouldn't
have
even
like
take
Oh yeah,
the
see,
aspirin.
Yeah.
subpoenas are typically issued to third parties, meaning individuals or entities not directly involved in the lawsuit.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
usually it's somebody else who's subpoenaing the person. If that's the right way to use that word.
Yeah, so he gets all this information from Melanie about like the guy that died, and then it cuts back to Quinn's going. I think he goes back into the office because that's when he catches.
Oh yeah,
that-
because he's trying to he
He's-
wants to get onto a computer.
yeah, he's trying to figure out like what's going on with the whole Melanie thing.
Yeah,
But-
because
and
she
then-
had insinuated that Wade had actually killed him. He hadn't killed himself.
Yeah, and they were saying, "Oh, once they're done with you, they're gonna do the same thing to you."
Yeah. And then he does that part where he's like, "Can you prove any of this?"
Yeah,
She's like, "I will."
Oh.
And I'm like, "But can you?"
yeah. I'm like, "Where's the proof? Show it
I
to me."
know.
So then he goes back into the office, and then he catches that I forget that guy's name. Let me look up his character
Gillette?
name. No, not Gillette. It's one of his coworkers.
Oh, the one with the slick back. It's called
Yeah,
Slick Back, dude.
The one that looks like him. He's tall
Kinda
and he's
does.
also like a decent looking guy.
Kenny.
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 Yeah, he's in there.
Kenny.
He's in there. He was going through some
Kenny and
paperwork,
Kyle?
and
Oh, Kenny Kyle.
Kenny, oh
yeah.
my God, hey, kill Kenny.
Oh, I was thinking of Love Island.
Oh, so yeah, he catches Kenny in his office. He's like, "What are you doing in here?" He's like, "Oh, relax.
Oh, yeah,
I was
he's,
just
like,
looking
real
for some."
snippy at him.
Yes, this is where he brings up because Kenny talks about wanting to go
He's like,
fishing
"Hey,
or
let's
fucking
go
hit the-
sailing.
He wants to go sailing and go
Let's
scuba
go
diving.
sailing,
Yeah.
bro."
Because he's all like, "Yo," he's like, "You've been acting weird." He's like, "I think you just need to chill." He's like, "How about we like set up like a set? We'll go out sailing and we'll go scuba diving." And Quinn's like, "Yeah, all right."
Yeah.
He's like, "Sorry, I just been on edge with this whole EduLearn thing. About to go public and stuff like that." So he agrees to that, and then Wade's walking in as Kenny's leaving the office and says, "Oh, me and QR set up a sailing and scuba thing."
Yeah.
So then she comes in. She's like, "What did you say to him?" He's like, "What?" He's like, "Didn't you?"
Well, she's like, "Didn't I tell you to
QR.
watch it with him?"
Well,
you
She's
watched
like,
what you
QR
say to
was
him.
like
It's like
scared of the
deathly is
water.
scared of water.
How was he by the pool then?
Because
Like, why have a pool at all?
He killed him.
Yeah. Why
So-
do you have a pool if you're deathly afraid?
So I guess
of
we
being
surmise that
Because
if
Quinn
he's
thinks
deathly
she's already
afraid, he doesn't know
planning
how
it.
to swim. Then, right? I would assume that
Yeah, no,
He's
definitely,
afraid of
he
water.
definitely doesn't know how to swim.
doesn't know how to swim.
Trust.
It's like a Truman Show situation.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
they're controlling him with water. So then she's kind of like was questioning about the whole Melanie thing.
Yeah. And then there I like that once again Wade goes into her breathy voice to try to like seduce
Yeah,
him
she's trying to
again.
seduce him again, and then
And this time
he
he's
won't
finally
fall.
like, "I'm not
Yeah.
leaning in."
Yeah.
yeah. So then he tells her, okay. He's like, "Look, I did some research, and the governor doesn't even come back to town till the
Next week.
weekend
Yeah.
or something like that.
It's
So
like next week. They
I
won't
need-
be there.
Yeah.
he's like,
so
I need
even
the timer
before-
back."
Yeah.
He's like, "And you gotta tell Gillette to take Wade off of house arrest." She's all like, "Well, okay." She's like, "Make this one phone call, and then I'll see what I can do." So then they end up like at dinner.
They're just having dinner.
They're just at dinner,
A
like
ro-
out.
kind of a romantic dinner too.
Yeah.
Like
Sorry.
there's a lot of candlelight.
Yeah. So they're like, and then he's on the phone, and he's all like, "Oh yeah, well, we love your support. We can definitely do 20 million or like 2 million units by this date or whatever." And then he's like, "All right, that sounds good." So then he hangs up the phone, and she's all like, "You're a really good salesman. You're like a born
He
salesman."
is though. He's a very
Yeah.
charming guy.
He's
Yeah, because like the conversation came off like very natural.
Yeah.
So like it was good.
But she's trying to tell. I think she's trying to convince him to kind of like stay and just be the new QR. No.
No, not necessarily. She's still
Well, no,
you
because then
trying to
she's
use
like,
them.
I know you like me too. I
Yeah.
like you. So
He's
we
like,
might
he-
as well
and then he tells her
like
the only
each
thing
other.
the only thing we have in common is looking across and wishing you
We were
that
looking
we were
at
like
someone
looking at
else.
someone else.
That was a good line.
Yeah.
I really like it. I was like, damn.
So you think he still has a thing for their Wade.
Of course he does. He keeps kissing on this
And he's like, I
Wade.
love this Wade. This Wade's so kissy.
Why
This is
isn't
not
my
my
Wade
Wade.
kissy?
God dang it.
Although our Wade is a little kissy.
Yeah.
I think she's learned she
This
needs
one's
to stop
extra
being-
kissy.
This one's very kissy, though, yeah. And then it cuts to Professor and Rembrandt. And
Yeah, they're
at
like
a shelter.
at a shelter, like soup kitchen. So they get in some food and they sit down, and then this lady comes to sit down, and the professor gets up, and then he makes the Rembrandt get up too, and like till she sits down, like very polite.
I know. Even though he was being like very sexist with the lawyer lady, he is a complete gentleman here.
Yeah. So then they're trying to figure out like their best case, like how to avoid like the police and everything until the slide. They probably won't be able to meet up with Quinn and Wade till later because I think they're like in a different part of town. They're like
they're like downtown.
Yeah, they're downtown.
Yeah.
So I think they're like, well, our best bet is just to wait until the day of the slide and then just make our way over there. That'd probably be best.
Yeah.
So and then we cut back to Quinn and Wade, and then you're back at the mansion, and then he goes and gets her, and they're trying to figure out like
Stimulant thing, right?
They want to get to a computer to look
evidence
into
that Wade was the one who killed the guy.
Yeah, so he wants to get, and so he needs a
He's like,
computer
I just
to like
need a
hack
computer.
into the police files and see what the report was.
Yeah.
So they leave, and then of course Gillette heard the whole conversation because he was just up on the.
Oh, that's what I'm
second
thinking
floor.
of. With like they leave and they pan up
Because he wasn't up there before, but then all of a sudden he was like, I guess he was there and he heard the whole
She was
conversation.
Right. He is everywhere, man.
Yeah. So then he knows something's up. So obviously he's like, he's gonna tail them.
Yeah.
And then we go back to Rembrandt and the professor again, and they're sleeping. They're
And
like
Tiffany
they're
found
at the.
them.
Yeah, they're there just chilling. They're trying to lay low, and Tiffany finds them, and she's there with the police. And the professor was surprised, like how, he was just surprised that she was able to like find them.
He also was this when he does that line where he's like, "I've already shown that I'm smarter than you already once," and I was like, "Why do you have to say like? Why do you have to say that? Why are you so mean?"
He says that, but then they kind of like she's all like
trying to convince her
to do the right thing, do your job.
Rembrandt is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rembrandt's like, you gotta like think outside the box if you really wanna.
You want to move up.
Oh yeah, because I think he's like, didn't you get into this to help people? And she's like, no, I got into this because my grades weren't good enough to get to something better.
To get a corporate job.
Yeah. And then Rembrandt's like, well, if your grades aren't great, you need to do things that stand out. Yeah.
He's all like, you need to do stuff other than just like
you need to make a mark.
Like moving people through the system, like whatever,
Yeah.
It's just she's basically doing like the bare minimum.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you're like, you don't want to do that because then it's like, you're really gonna get rewarded. That's not always the case. But
very true.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I guess that strikes a chord with her.
Sometimes you gotta act your wage, man.
Yeah. And then we'll see, what happens later on when she. So then we cut back to Quinn and Wade. They're at the Lamplighter, and I guess there's the
Lamplighter is a hotel, a pub,
and an internet cafe. Would it say like Sky Internet or Sky Cafe? Sky Cafe or something like that. But like, because you could see the bar in the background, so they're still there. So they're there, and I guess Quinn's able to access the police reports of Melanie's husbands. Like, because they said they found like a whole bunch of stimulants in the system. Yeah. It was enough to like take down an elephant or something like that.
Says.
So which was weird.
And I guess the wife. Because the wife had made the comment that he, it was said that he overdosed on the stimulant or on these pills when he wouldn't even take an aspirin for a headache.
Yeah, so they get all that information, and they're trying to think. Oh, I think they come up with an idea, right? Like just like how they can come up with some evidence, like make evidence.
I forget. They're trying to decide what to do. They're trying to decide to get the evidence when they get into the car, and then they're all like, all right. And then you hear a gun in the back, and you realize Gillette's in the
there.
back
He just
seat.
like pops up.
He literally like comes up from the back.
He just like sits up.
Hello.
Doesn't he say something like, "Oh, it's a lovely night for a drive,"
or
something like that?
Starts playing,
and he
yes,
yeah,
that was the part where I was like,
what the
How long has that song been playing for? Why is it going so hard?
Right then, like when he reveals himself.
Oh.
What the fuck? Yeah. It's a very strange song.
That song was going hard. Yeah.
It doesn't even fit the mood though. That's the thing.
No, it's very like very like guitar-y.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I was like, what?
That's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then he's like, let's go for a drive. And you're kind of like, oh man, they got caught.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it cuts to Q talking with Kyle, no?
No,
he shows that video.
Yeah. It's like they're in the conference room at the office. And then that's when Kyle's like,
he shows the video of Wade confessing, the double Wade confessing to
it's not double Wade.
To killing. And then he makes a comment like that's
he's
obviously
like,
that's obviously
that's your Wade with a bad
Wade.
wig.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you talking about? It's the
But
same wig.
then I start to wonder, when did they make this video then? Didn't Gillette just grab him?
Well, we find out that
I know we find out
later.
But as you're watching this episode, I'm like, when the heck did they make this
I think
video?
you can kind of surmise from this that they made a deal with Gillette. And that's how they were, because he was the one asking the questions in that video.
Yes,
Gillette.
you're right. That is the man asking.
I thought Quinn was asking the questions.
No, that was Gillette.
That was something that completely went over my head. Then I thought it was. I thought it was Quinn, or I thought she was just answering a non-asked question. I don't know.
Yeah, so he pretty much tells Kyle, we're not playing your games anymore. You're gonna get me the timer back, or this is gonna end up.
Or I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Or this is gonna end up on the latest edition of Hard Copy.
Yeah. I love that hard copy is back again. I love it.
So then he's like, he kind of has this look on his face like, oh shit, I'm fucked. They got me. Son of a bitch. He's all like, this will never go. I'll get an analyst down here to prove that it's fake. It's like, it'll be too late because all the bad publicity people are gonna pull out.
People are already gonna pull out, which is true. The court of public opinion is very quick.
Separate yourself from that.
Yeah. But and then we're back to Rembrandt and the professor at the courts again.
Oh yeah. So they decide that they don't want Tiffany as their
the professor decides.
The professor decided that for
both.
He
wants to talk, and so he pleads guilty, but with a reason.
He's about to give that reason, and Tiffany shows up.
Thank fucking God she does.
And then
the goes, well, this is my lawyer.
I know. The funny thing is, I think the judge is kind of like slumped in his chair, and then she comes, and he's like, and he gets back up. He's like,
hey there, foxy lady.
He sits back up for her.
Yeah, so he's like, I understand that you're no longer representing these two.
And what does he call them? These fossils or like
something like that?
Yeah.
That's right. And then that's when Rembrandt's all like, she still represents me. And then she was able to do some work.
That the lamplighter is it's supposed to have a sign outside
of the establishment.
Yeah, when it has like certain rules.
Yeah. So that since they didn't have that, she was able to get the whole case thrown out.
Yeah, immediately he goes, "You're right."
He's like, "You're right."
And again, it's because he likes her, and so he's like, "Yeah, there's nothing on there. You got this, girl." See, they should have just listened to her.
So the whole thing that Rembrandt told her the night before, really she said it made her resonated, and she hit the books, and she was able to come up with that defense and helped him out. Mm-hmm. And the professor felt bad after. He's all like, I believe I owe you a favor. And then she's all like, no, you don't. She's actually, I owe you guys a favor for making me realize that you guys were right. But I don't know. I don't think she.
Yeah,
I don't agree. She did do him a solid by getting them off. Yeah. So they were free to go.
Probably did it more for Rembrandt than the professor. The professor was just so condescending, rude. She didn't do anything to him. Come on now.
Yeah. So then we go back to Quinn and Wade, and then he's like waiting by the door, and he sees the other way. He's like, she's coming. And
he gives his reaction because she's like, is that them? And she's like, and he's like, no, it's her. Let's go. And I'm like, he sounds like he's throwing a surprise birthday party for her.
Like they were waiting for her. They're like, oh, she's on her way. Come on. So then she comes in. She's all pissed, and she's trying to. What I forget. She found out about the whole thing with Kyle.
Oh, he's separating. He's pulling himself away from it. So she's like,
he fired her.
Oh yes,
he fired her.
He fired her. He wants to separate himself from the whole situation. Mm-hmm. So then they come in and then they have another tape ready to go, and it's a tape that I guess they made of like the whole like murder being done by the pool. There was like I guess like supposedly like surveillance.
They had all this time to make these tapes,
and then they're like watching it along with him. They're like, he's all like, "Ooh, that looked like it hurt."
I also like the like little bit of delayed reaction in the video where Wade hits him in the head, and there's just a small little like moment where
he's standing there.
He's just standing there, and then he does that like he throws himself in the pool. He's like, woo!
Yeah, like a little spinning, like falling into the water. And was he like on the phone, or they were having an argument? Right, that was the whole thing. Like,
they were having an argument.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because she's like, "Oh, you look really mad in that."
So then she goes, she pulls the tape out, and then
she just throws it in the trash.
She just throws it. He's like, don't worry, the other copy's already on its way to.
Which is like,
I think Kyle was gonna go drop it off.
Oh no, Kenny! I
thought.
Kenny?
Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
He put it on Kenny's. Kenny's desk.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny because that happens a lot, right, in movies and TVs where like they show him the
he's
proof,
already on
and
the
then
way.
They rip it up,
but
and then they're like, obviously,
it's gonna happen. I'm
they're like, that's not the only copy.
Yeah.
It always happens. And then she's all like, this is when they bring in Gillette.
Oh yeah, Gillette comes.
Because like she's all like,
nobody's
you'll
gonna
never believe this. She's like, there's no body, and you won't be around to testify.
Yeah.
And then that's when Gillette comes in. He's like, oh, I will, and I know exactly where the body's at because I'm the one who buried it.
Oh, so that's so sad. Point is just QR is just in an unmarked grave somewhere.
Well, yeah, man, they got to get rid of the evidence.
That's true.
And then so it turns out that
they made a deal.
She was pissed. She's like, I got a better deal. She's all like, after everything I've done for you. And
so he's like, oh, I'm the new
heir to QR's estate.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, oh, that's a big gamble because he is also such a scummy person.
Yeah. Well, I think they did what they had to do just to like, just to like get out of their situation.
And then this is when it really ramps up.
Yeah. So other Wade goes to her desk and pulls out a gun.
And Gillette shows.
And then she's all like, I'm gonna kill you, and then I'm gonna kill myself. But it ain't gonna be me doing the dying. It's gonna be her. And then I'm gonna start over in Florida because the age of retirement there is 40.
I like that in Florida. Florida still lacks.
Yeah, you still get another 10 years before you have to retire. So then,
how does this start? What was the chain reaction that started?
Oh, the shooting?
Yeah.
Oh, and Gillette's going to pull out his gun.
Oh, and
she
shoots him from the hip too.
Yeah, she goes.
Can you imagine? Like that's actually, I thought that was a pretty badass move on her part.
And then Quinn goes and grabs her, and then knocks the gun out of her hand.
And yet he never tried to grab Kyle. Messed up.
And then she was about to hit Quinn on the head with something, and then that's when the R Wade pulls the gun. She's like, "Don't do it." She's like, "I'll do it if I have to." She's gonna shoot herself.
Can you imagine having to shoot yourself like that?
If you gotta do it, you gotta do it. She was ready to do it. You think she was ready to do it? I think she would have done it.
I don't think so.
To protect Quinn?
I think she might have shot it, but I don't think she would have hit.
Yeah,
she was like point blank.
Or she wouldn't have shot the head. She would have
shot her. Shot her in the arm or something. Yeah.
She would have ended up shooting Quinn.
Yeah. So then, like after that, you hear the police sirens in the background.
Yeah.
And they show up, and I guess Quinn and Wade, like just like kind of take off.
Yeah.
Because the cops show up and they take Wade into custody, and they also have Gillette as well. And he got shot. I guess he just got shot in the arm because he had like a sling.
Yeah, he just had a sling on.
Yeah. Yeah. So they take off, and then you got Rembrandt and Professor kind of like hiding in the bushes. And they're all like, "Oh, I can't wait to tell Quinn and Wade about what happened to us." It's like, "Oh, it seems like they have a better story." So then they go around back and they end up in the back of the property again, and then they see what happened to your doubles. So it's a long story, and then they
that's when they open the portal.
When they open the portal, and
the Professor and Rembrandt go in.
Well, no, first they
have
like a little brief conversation real quick before they jump in. It's like, oh yeah, Quinn tells the professor, you were right. It's we shouldn't, get involved with the locals.
See, and then doesn't he go? He's like, you were right, and he's like, huh? And he's like,
about
we shouldn't
getting
get
involved
involved
with the locals.
This is another reason why I'm like, maybe, yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I don't think
that
this is
could
our
be
professor.
like he's very vague when he says that. So I would have been like, "What are you talking about?" And then when he
I
said
feel like,
that, oh yeah,
I feel like the professor would have been like, I'm always right.
And then they're all like, "Well, hopefully, the EduLearn thing doesn't get passed with all this bad publicity, and the schools can stay open for a few more years." And the professor's like, "Well, you can't save all the worlds you go to." And then that's when they jump into the portal. And then it's the Quinn and Wade are the last ones to jump in. She's like, "Well, here's something to remember." And then it's a framed photo, and he puts it down on the seat on the outside patio seat, and it's just the wedding. I guess like a wedding picture of them together.
I thought it was a honeymoon picture.
Well, maybe it's a honeymoon. It's just like a couple
it's definitely
picture.
a couple, but it's a happy couple picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the one where she has a little flower in her hair.
I know, and the Wade was all like, "Oh, I can't believe she had it all." Yeah.
She's all, he had such a smoking hot husband. Look what she did. He's all, what?
I thought Quinn and
he's
Wade
all,
were
he's all,
kiss
you can
right
have
there
it
at
all.
the end, so you can have all of this, just like she did.
Yeah, he's all, she doesn't kiss like you do. She's all, what?
She's all, you don't wear stupid lipstick.
Your lipstick doesn't get all over my face when we kiss.
And
yeah, then so they jump in, and then it just pans down, and it
to
shows that little picture
frame.
Yeah,
it was it.
It was a pretty entertaining episode. I like.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I know.
Yeah, so
a lot of twists and turns. I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
The next episode is episode 12, Invasion.
Yeah.
This is about aliens.
No, not. I don't know. I can't remember. So this one was rated 6.9.
Relentless.
Yeah.
What was sliding again? 8?
Wait, what? Which one?
Post slide syndrome.
Oh, 8.3.
8.3. This is 6.7.
Yeah.
What was Dino again? 7?
Dino was a straight 7. Same thing like Great Fellas.
This had less than Dino?
Damn straight.
Just by a little bit.
No, this needs to have more than Dino.
No, Dino's a way better episode compared to this.
That is like, I love that dinosaur.
If Dino is 7, this needs to be at least a 7.2.
No.
Yeah.
Like, is it as good as Post Slide? No, but I feel like it's still.
So the
what was Summer of Love?
Summer of
Love. Yeah, what was Summer of Love?
Summer of Love was a season 1.
Episode 2.
Summer of Love was a straight 7.
Damn, Summer of Love and Dino got the same rating.
Yeah.
And
so next episode
should have been higher.
I like this episode.
Invasion's got a 7.8.
7.8. Damn, that's like just underneath Post.
Yeah, just underneath Post. Yeah, that's the second highest of this season.
Damn.
So hopefully that one's good. So yeah. So we'll have that one up next. That one should be good. Hopefully. We'll see. I can't remember what it's about, but
what was the other? What was the good, the bad, and the ugly? No. What was the name of that one again?
Oh, the good, the bad, and the wealthy.
Yeah.
6.5.
Yeah.
6.
So this did just slightly higher than
it should.
Damn.
4.
That's messed up.
Yeah,
That's messed up. Come on, guys. Let's rate this one a little bit higher. Help us out here.
Yeah, so next episode we'll be recording in May, right? May. Let's see, next week.
May 4th?
May?
Oh shit, is it May 4th? No.
May.
We all
right. May 4th.
And it might be an alien one. Oh man, this needs to be an alien one.
Oh, everybody put on your Star Wars attire because it'll be May 4th.
That's great. Oh, it is May 4th. You're right.
Yeah. Star Wars Day. Yeah, so that'll be the next episode. We'll be live streaming that, and
Eric's gonna be in a full Yoda costume.
Oh,
yes,
imagine trying to do the whole podcast as Yoda. You're all.
So fucking dumb.
It's too much.
I feel like 3 sentences in, it would just be too long.
Yeah. So and then we're almost done with the season. We have the Invasion, and then the last episode as time goes by. Yeah,
that's it.
And then that's it for season 2.
Oh, that's.
And then we'll have the recap episode after.
Oh, and then where does the time go?
I know. We've almost been doing this podcast for a year now.
When did we start?
July.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
There you go.
We're almost there.
Should we do something for our year?
We could do another episode of the comic series.
Oh yeah, we should.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll see which one. Maybe we'll do like I'll post up. People can vote which one they want is.
Okay, that
talk
sounds
about.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody, thank you guys for joining us. Hope you guys had a good Easter. We'll see you guys May 4th for the invasion episode. And if you guys don't forget to follow us on our socials, on Instagram, obviously at Sliding Through Dimensions, and also on Twitter. That's at Sliding Home 1. I usually post a lot of stuff on there, and then I've just recently started trying to do more TikTok stuff. Just I think I put up the video short clip from the Rob Floyd interview. It's up on there. Yeah, I try to.
You should try to do a little clip of the face Quinn makes after he makes out with.
Oh, just to pull like a clip from that. Yeah, I can do that. Just a little face. Oh, when they kiss at the second time with the lipstick.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see if I can splice that in with the we were talking about it.
I love it.
All right, everybody. Well, until next time, we'll see y'all in the next dimension.
Have a happy
I'm sorry, no,
Tuesday.
in the next world. That's what we say.
Yeah, I know. We talked about how we say world, but it should be
dimension. But yeah, we'll stick with that one.
It's the same world.
It's the same world, different dimension. All right, good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Sliding Through Dimensions for updates and extra content. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on new episodes dropping every other week. Until next time, see you in another dimension.